Why do dogs tilt their heads when they hear humans talk? This adorable behavior may not be as simple as you think. Have you ever talked to a dog? Then suddenly, it tilts its head to one side. Its eyes look at you very carefully. Its ears perk up a little. It looks as if it is trying to understand every word you say. That moment usually makes us laugh because it is just too cute. It is like the dog is asking, wait, what did you just say? But why do dogs do this? Do they tilt their heads because they are trying to hear better? Or because they are trying to understand human speech? Or because they want to see our faces more clearly? It is also possible they know humans really like that behavior. The truth is, science still does not have one single answer, but there are a few very reasonable explanations, and that head tilt, which may look like it is only there to be cute, can actually tell us a lot. And it shows how dogs hear, how dogs see, how dogs learn, and how dogs communicate with humans. Is this normal behavior? First, a dog tilting its head when listening to you is usually normal. A lot of dogs do this. They may tilt their heads when they hear a strange sound, or when they hear a familiar voice, or when they hear a word they care about. For example, want to go for a walk? Want a treat? Where's the ball? As soon as they hear the right keyword, some dogs will stop immediately. They look at you, then tilt their heads very attentively. In most cases, this is not something to worry about. A short head tilt usually just shows that the dog is paying attention. It is listening, it is focusing, and maybe it is trying to understand what you mean. But there is still one important thing to remember. If a dog keeps its head tilted continuously, you should not ignore it. If it walks unsteadily, that may be an unusual sign. If it loses balance, you should pay attention too. If its eyes move abnormally, if it vomits, or if it seems to have ear pain, you should take the dog to be checked. In this video, we are talking about the normal kind of head tilt. It only happens for a few seconds. The dog hears something. The dog tilts its head, and then it goes back to normal. The dog may be trying to hear better. The most common explanation is this: dogs tilt their heads to hear better. At first, that may sound a little strange because dogs already have very sensitive hearing. They can hear many sounds that humans cannot. But sensitive hearing does not mean everything is clear. Hearing a sound is one thing. Knowing exactly where that sound comes from is another. Imagine you hear a tiny noise somewhere in your house. You might turn your head, you might tilt your ear, or stay quiet for a moment to listen more carefully. Dogs may do something similar. The difference is that dogs have many different ear shapes. Some breeds have upright ears, some breeds have floppy ears, some breeds have long ears. Some dogs have ears that cover part of the ear canal, and so when a dog tilts its head, it may be adjusting the way sound enters its ears. It is like adjusting the direction of its hearing, like a tiny antenna. Not because the dog cannot hear you, but because it wants to hear more clearly. It wants to locate the sound better, and it wants to understand the situation better. The dog may be trying to understand you, but hearing better is only part of the story. A more interesting reason is this: dogs may be trying to process information, especially human speech. When you say, "Go get the ball," and your dog tilts its head, it may not just be hearing the sound. It may be trying to connect that sound to a memory. What is ball? Where is it? Have I played with it before? What does my owner want me to do? Of course, this does not mean dogs understand every word. Dogs do not understand language the same way humans do, but they can learn many familiar words, especially words that are repeated many times. For example, walk, or treat, or ball, or outside. Those words mean something to dogs because they are often connected to a specific experience. Treat may mean food is coming. Walk may mean going outside. Ball may mean playtime is about to start. So when a dog tilts its head, its brain may be focusing. It is not just listening, it is trying to understand something meaningful to it. The dog may want to see your face more clearly. Besides hearing, dogs may also tilt their heads to see you more clearly. This makes a lot of sense for dogs with long muzzles. Try putting your fist in front of your nose. Imagine that it is a dog's muzzle. You will notice something interesting. The front of the face can block part of your view. It can be the same for dogs. A long muzzle may make it harder for them to see a human face clearly, especially the mouth area. Meanwhile, the human face contains a lot of information. Is the mouth smiling or serious? Are the eyes happy or angry? Does the voice sound friendly? Is the owner praising or calling? Dogs are very good at reading human signals. They do not only listen to words, they also observe our eyes, our gestures, our posture, and our facial expressions. So when a dog tilts its head, it may be trying to see you more clearly. It is putting together several pieces of information: the sound you make, your tone of voice, the expression on your face, and the context around it. Dogs know humans like this behavior. Now let's talk about a very everyday reason. Dogs may tilt their heads more often because they have learned something. Humans really like that behavior. Imagine this scene. You are talking to your dog. It tilts its head. You immediately smile. You say in a happy voice, "Oh, that's so cute." Then you pet it. Maybe you even give it a treat. To a dog, this is a very clear signal. I just did something that made my owner happy. If head tilting leads to attention, the dog will remember that. If it leads to praise, the dog will remember it even more. If it leads to petting or a reward, that behavior may happen more often. At first, the dog may tilt its head because it is curious, or because it wants to hear better, or because it is focusing. But later, it may learn from your reaction. It realizes that this behavior makes you happy, not because the dog is acting, but because dogs learn very quickly. They are very good at noticing what makes humans respond, and an adorable head tilt is clearly very effective. Why do dogs tilt their heads when they hear familiar words? If you pay attention, you may notice something. Dogs often tilt their heads more when they hear special sounds. For example, a voice that is higher than usual, or a whistle, or a squeaky toy, or familiar words like walk, treat, outside, ball. The reason is that these sounds mean something to dogs, and they are not just noise. They may signal that something is about to happen. When a dog hears walk, it may think about going outside. When it hears treat, it may think about food. When it hears ball, it may think about playtime. So the head tilt may be a sign of focus, almost as if the dog is thinking, "Wait a second, I know that word. Are we about to go outside? Did my owner just say snack?" Dogs may not understand the whole sentence, but they are very good at catching keywords. They can also read tone of voice, they remember routines, and they understand context. For dogs, meaning is not only in the words, meaning is in the whole situation. Not every dog tilts its head the same way. Not every dog tilts its head the same way. Some dogs do it very often. Some almost never do it. Some tilt to the left. Some tilt to the right. Some only tilt their heads when they hear familiar words. Others tilt their heads at every strange sound. This does not mean one dog is smarter than another. It simply shows that each dog has its own way of reacting. Breed can play a role. Ear shape can play a role. Muzzle length can also play a role. Personality matters too. Training level matters too. Life experience matters too. A curious dog may tilt its head more often. A dog used to hearing commands may react more clearly. A dog that has less interaction with people may do it less often. So if your dog does not tilt its head very much, do not worry. It does not mean your dog does not love you. It does not mean your dog is not smart. And it does not mean your dog is not paying attention. It is just being itself. When is head tilting a warning sign? This is the important part. Not every head tilt is cute. A short head tilt when your dog listens to you is usually normal. But if your dog tilts its head constantly, you should pay attention. If it keeps its head tilted to one side for a long time, that may be an unusual sign. If it comes with loss of balance, you should be even more careful. Some signs to watch for include walking unsteadily, losing balance, falling over, eyes flicking back and forth, vomiting, loss of appetite, scratching the ears a lot, shaking the head a lot, a bad smell from the ears, or pain when the ears are touched. These signs may be related to the ears. It could be an ear infection, it could be ear pain, or it could be a vestibular problem. Remember to separate the two situations. Situation 1, your dog tilts its head for a few seconds when listening to you. Situation 2, your dog keeps its head tilted abnormally during daily life. The first situation is usually cute. The second situation should be checked by a veterinarian. So why do dogs tilt their heads when they hear humans talk? The more accurate answer is this: it is not just because they are being cute. Dogs may tilt their heads to hear better, to locate sounds more accurately, to see your face more clearly, to process familiar words, or because they have learned that this behavior makes humans react positively. In other words, every time your dog tilts its head when listening to you, it may not just be acting adorable. It may be trying to hear you more clearly, trying to understand you better, and maybe it knows one thing very well. All it has to do is tilt its head a little, and you will smile immediately. If you enjoy topics like this, leave your next question. Maybe one tiny behavior from a pet is hiding a very interesting story behind it.